Night had already settled over the town. Mori walked alone through the quiet streets, one hand pressed lightly against his forehead. "I'm exhausted." He let out a slow breath. "After barely escaping that mess yesterday, I was so worn out that I fell asleep without eating." His throat felt dry. "I'm so thirsty I could die." He closed his eyes for a moment. Vampires are always thirsty. No amount of blood can ever truly satisfy it. Another step. If I don't drink soon, those old instincts might come back. Then he suddenly stopped. His nose twitched. That scent. I know it. Not far away, Aoi was walking home by herself. The streets were dark and unusually quiet. A faint sound echoed behind her. She turned. No one. Maybe I imagined it. She took another few steps. Then, without warning, someone appeared from the darkness right behind her. She gasped and spun around. "Who are you?" "Are you the vampire?" The strange man smiled. "Huh? Yeah, sure, I'm a vampire." The fear hit her all at once. Her vision blurred. She collapsed onto the ground unconscious. The man looked down at her and chuckled. "A weird guy might do some weird things to you if you fall asleep out here, little girl." He bent down. "Guess I'll just take you home with me." Then he shrugged. "It's your own fault for walking around alone at night." As he reached toward her, a calm voice came from the darkness. "Time to eat your own words, you filth." The man looked around. Huh? Looks like a real weirdo showed up after all. He reached toward Aoi again. "Hurry up, little girl." Before he could touch her, a shadow flashed past, so fast he couldn't even react. In a single movement, Aoi was gone.
Only then did he realize someone else was already standing several steps away, holding her safely in their arms. The streetlight finally revealed his face. "Mori." "I won't let you take her," the man shouted. "I found her first." Mori didn't answer. He moved. A single strike slammed the man into the wall. The impact knocked him unconscious instantly. Silence returned. Mori looked down at the unconscious man. Then he slowly lifted him. "Blood. I need blood." Just then, "Mr. Vampire?" Oi slowly opened her eyes. She blinked once before looking up at Mori. "Did you just save me?" Mori froze. "This is bad." His breathing became uneven. "I'm too thirsty." The scent of fresh blood filled the air. It was becoming impossible to ignore. Even Oi's blood smells irresistible. Oi looked at him carefully. "So, the vampire really is the same Mori from the koi bathhouse?" Mori immediately answered without hesitation. "No." His denial came so naturally that Oi couldn't press him any further. But the thirst only grew stronger. Before he realized it, his hand tightened around her arm. "I can't hold back much longer." His thoughts raced. "I've endured this for an entire decade, waiting for the day I could drink Rihito's blood after he turned 18. He shut his eyes tightly. "Don't throw all of that away. I have to resist." He took a slow breath and forced himself to speak. "Are you hurt?" Oi gently shook her head. "I'm all right, Mr. Vampire." Then she hesitated. "Last time, you told me to fall in love." Mori looked at her without speaking. She gathered her courage. "Well?" A faint blush spread across her face. "I did." The words landed like a bolt of lightning.
Mori's eyes widened. She fell in love. For a brief moment, he assumed the worst. "I knew it. She's fallen for Rahigo." His expression darkened. This is bad. His thirst mixed with frustration until it became difficult to tell one from the other. "There's no way. I won't let her sink her teeth into that pure virgin boy." Almost without thinking, his hand rose to her neck. Aoi froze. He slowly leaned closer. Her heart pounded. "What? Does Mr. Vampire have feelings for me?" Her face turned bright red. She slowly closed her eyes. Mori leaned closer still. His fangs began to show. His mouth moved toward her neck, ready to bite, ready to drink her blood and bring everything to an end. Just as Mori leaned closer, a voice suddenly echoed through the street. Mori! Mori's eyes widened. Huh? Rihito? Aoi quickly turned as well. Huh? Standing a few steps away was Rihito, frozen in place. He had been on his way to buy medicine for his father, but the scene in front of him made him stop completely. His mouth opened, but no words came out at first. Mori, he pointed at them with a trembling hand. What are you doing? His voice rose. Why are you trying to kiss her? Mori nearly jumped back. No, it's not like that. His mind raced. He thinks I'm trying to kiss her? No, I'm not trying to kiss her. Rihito looked even more confused. Then why were you holding Aoi like that? Aoi hurriedly stepped between them, her face turning red. No, you misunderstood. She pointed toward the unconscious man lying nearby. Mori saved me from that weirdo. Rihito looked over. A weirdo? Mori finally had the chance to explain. I happened to be passing by. I saw what was happening and stepped in.
Rihito looked from Mori to the unconscious man, then finally let out a long breath. Oh, thank goodness. He placed a hand on his chest. I thought it was something else. Then he immediately turned to Aoi. Are you all right? Aoi smiled shyly. Yeah, I'm fine. Mori took out his phone. I'll call the police. He explained everything to the responding officer, and a few minutes later the police arrived and arrested the unconscious man. Once everything had settled down, Rihito looked at Mori. Thank you for saving Aoi. If you hadn't been nearby, something terrible could have happened. Mori simply shook his head. It wasn't a big deal. Anyone would have done the same. As they started walking away, Mori quietly sipped the tomato juice one of the police officers had handed him. That helped. It calmed my thirst, at least for a little while. Rihito turned toward Aoi. You shouldn't walk home alone after this. I'll take you. Thank you. Rihito then looked back at Mori. You can walk ahead if you want. Instead, Mori stayed with them, and the three quietly walked together until they reached Aoi's house. When they arrived, Aoi bowed politely. Good night, and thank you again, Mori. Before Mori could answer, Rihito spoke first. Aoi, if you're scared tonight, you can always message me. I'll be there for you. She smiled warmly. Thank you, I appreciate it. Mori gave a small nod. Good night, Aoi. As Mori and Rihito walked away, Aoi remained standing outside, watching them disappear into the night. I knew it. The vampire who came to my house before really was Mori from the koi bathhouse. A faint smile appeared. How wonderful. Then another thought crossed her mind. But just how much does Rihito actually know? The walk home was unusually quiet. Mori glanced toward Rihito. I wonder what's for dinner tonight. But inside, his thoughts were somewhere else. That was far too close. If I'd actually drunk Aoi's blood and Rihito had seen me, everything I've waited for over the last 10 years would have been ruined. Beside him, Rihito remained silent. Mori could feel his gaze. He's staring at me. He's starting to suspect something. The silence stretched until Rihito finally spoke. Mori. He hesitated. Can I ask you something? Mori swallowed once. What is it? Rihito looked straight into his eyes. I might be slow to notice things. He took another step closer. But I've realized something. Mori felt his chest tighten. He knows. He's figured out my bloodlust. Then Rihito said, Mori, you're in love, aren't you? What? Mori almost lost his balance. Rihito nodded confidently. Your reaction says it all. He folded his arms. You're in love with Aoi. Mori stared at him in complete disbelief.
Rihito continued. I thought it was strange when you sniffed her handkerchief. He counted on his fingers. She already seemed to know you before. And then there was the bathhouse. Now everything makes sense. Mori could only listen in stunned silence. How? How did he misunderstand everything this badly? Rihito smiled faintly. I understand how you feel. Then his expression became determined. So let me say this now. He pointed at Mori. You and I are rivals in love. Before Mori could respond, Rihito turned and ran. Mori? Wait. Mori reached out after him. You've got it completely wrong. But Rihito kept running. I won't let you win. Remember that. Mori could only watch him disappear into the night.
The next morning at school, Rihito quietly watched Aoi talking with her friends about playing a game after class. When he realized she already had plans, he quietly left the classroom without interrupting. Meanwhile, back at the koi bathhouse, Mori had only just woken up. He walked into the dining room, still looking sleepy. Good morning. Rihito's dad laughed. It's hardly morning. You really are a creature of the night. Mori answered with a straight face. Well, I am a vampire. His dad burst into laughter. There he goes again. Rihito's mom sighed with a smile. Don't tease him. Then she turned to Mori. Sorry, he made up this whole vampire image for you. You don't have to keep playing along. Her husband laughed even harder. Come on, it's all in good fun. Then he looked back at Mori. Remind me again, how did you become a vampire? Mori answered as naturally as ever. It happened before I started serving Oda Nobunaga. Everyone listened. I was attacked by a vampire who arrived from Europe on a ship. He drank only half of my blood before replacing it with his own. For an entire day, I hovered between life and death. He paused. Then the next morning, I woke up as a vampire. Rihito's father laughed so hard he nearly spilled his breakfast. You never miss a beat. That story never gets old. That's enough, Rihito's mom interrupted with a smile. Then she looked at Mori. When you finished eating, could you help refill the firewood? Of course. Your dad is working the front desk. Mori nodded. Then he looked around the table. Where's Rihito? Rihito's dad looked around the house before answering. He's not home yet. He's probably still out somewhere. Mori froze. What? He slowly stood up. He's still not home?
He looked outside at the dark sky. Look how late it is. Rihito's dad waved a hand casually. Don't worry so much. He's a high school student now. A grin spread across his face. Maybe he's out on a date. A date? Mori went completely still. His thoughts immediately raced back to the night before. Could it be because of what happened? He trusted me more than anyone. But now he thinks I'm in love with the same girl he likes. Will he ever trust me again? He clenched his fist. I can't leave this to his father. Behind him, Rihito's dad happily continued eating. The food's great today. Thanks, sweetie. Mori was already heading for the door. I'm going to look for Rihito. His dad called after him. It's fine. He'll come home. Don't worry. But Mori was already outside. He looked around the empty streets. Now then, where do wayward teenagers usually hang around? From inside the house, Rihito's dad suddenly shouted, Oh, right. When I was young, everyone gathered at the abandoned factory in Nanachome. Mori nodded immediately. Understood. I'll be back. Rihito's mom called after him. Aren't you going to eat? Sorry, I'll eat with Rihito later. Without another word, Mori ran toward the abandoned factory.
The factory was alive with noise. The same boys who had bullied Rihito were gathered there, setting off fireworks. One of them laughed as a younger boy lit another fuse. See? You're not such a wimp after all. Nearby, Frankenstein folded his arms. He walked over to the newcomer. Don't push yourself just because you're trying to impress us, newbie. Yes, sir. One of the boys looked at Frankenstein. Why don't you get a tattoo? With muscles like yours, you'd look even more badass. Frankenstein shook his head. I've got no interest in decorating or polluting my body. All that stuff only weakens you. The only thing allowed to weaken me is myself. The younger boys stared at him with admiration. So cool. Just then, the factory door slammed open. Mori walked in without slowing down. Is Rihito here? He looked around once. Doesn't seem like it. One of the boys immediately pointed at him. Hey! He turned toward Frankenstein. That's the guy we told you about. He's the one who broke my arm. Mori barely glanced at them. We'll deal with that another day. I'm in a hurry. See ya. He turned to leave. Hey! Frankenstein's voice echoed through the factory. Stop right there, bastard. Mori paused. Frankenstein slowly rubbed his fists together. I heard you broke one of my boy's arms. Mori answered calmly. I barely grabbed his arm and pushed him aside. He was blocking my way. Frankenstein stepped forward. I never forgive anyone who hurts my boys. No normal human could break someone's arm that easily. Behind him, the others cheered. Show him who's boss, Frankenstein. One punch will finish that pale freak. Mori looked at him with a faint smile. So, you're Frankenstein. What a cute little cameo you're making. Frankenstein's expression hardened. Watch your mouth, idiot. The atmosphere instantly became tense. Without another word, Frankenstein charged. Let's see what color your blood is. His fist shot forward. Mori simply stepped aside. Another punch, then another. Every attack missed. Frankenstein frowned. What's going on? He gritted his teeth. I was just warming up. Now I'll show you my real strength. He rushed in again, throwing even faster punches. But to Mori, it was effortless. He slipped past every strike without wasting a single movement. A faint smile appeared on his face. Is that all you've got? The boys watching from behind fell silent. No one could believe what they were seeing. Frankenstein, the strongest fighter any of them had ever known, couldn't land a single punch. For the first time in their lives, they watched someone stand directly in front of Frankenstein without fear. Meanwhile, back at Awie's house, the mood couldn't have been more different. Aoi sat quietly on her bed, reading another fantasy novel. Her mother peeked into the room with a smile. You're still reading those fantasy books. You haven't changed since you were little. Aoi smiled back. There's nothing wrong with liking fantasy. Her mother laughed softly. Well, have you heard from your brother? Aoi shook her head. No, but he's probably out somewhere causing trouble. Back at the abandoned factory, the fight was still going. As Mori effortlessly avoided another punch, a thought crossed his mind. Believe it or not, this boy is pure, and the energy inside him is remarkable. To be continued. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Follow for the next part of the story to see what happens next.